Success is not just the zeros you see in your bank balance. It is your conscious sovereignty. It is you feeling so good about you. You celebrating your own existence.
So we'll look into some of the coronation ceremonies of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So before the year of 1981, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was identified as the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva by the spiritual adepts and the enlightened masters of Hinduism. In the year 1981, he was initiated into Bala Sannyas and at Chaturmasya at the age of 3. In the coming year, the year of 88, he was coronated as the future Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tundi Mandaladinam, the oldest monastic university. In the 94, he was appointed as the successor of Arunachala Sarvanapitham by Guru Parampara, and in the year 99, he founded the mission Nithyananda Sangha to revive Kailasas internationally. In the year 99, he was coronated as the successor of Kashi Sarvanapitham. In the year 2002, he founded Adi Kailasa Sarvanapitham. In the year 2004, he was declared as the successor of Bhagyanagara Sripura Sarvanapitham. In the same year, he was also declared as the incumbent emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Samrajyam of Suryavamsa lineage. In the year 2007, he was declared as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Adi Pallava Sarvanya Peetham. In the same year, he was also declared as the Mahamandaleswar of Mahanirvani Akhara, and in the year 12, he was coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai Shyamala Peetha Sarvanya Peetham, which is the oldest Hindu papal estate and the monastic kingdom. In the year 13, he was officially coronated as the Mahamandaleswar of Mahanirvani Akhara, which is the largest apex monastic order, and at that time, he was the youngest Mahamandaleswar. In the same year, he was also declared as the Acharya Mahamandaleswar by the Atal Akhara, which is the oldest monastic order in Hinduism, and he was declared by the Acharya Mahamandaleswar Sukdevanandaji, the then incumbent spiritual head. In the year 2014, he was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tanjavur Adinam. In the same year, he was also coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tiruvarur Adinam. In the year 14, he was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Vedaranyam Adinam, and in the same year, he was also coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Panchanadi Kulam. In the year of 2015, he was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharmamukti Swargapuram Adinam and the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Adipit Kuladhamat. In the year 2015, he was also elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by congregation of over 1,000 spiritual leaders, the Pontiffs of Hinduism. So let us look into the various global initiatives taken by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. 28 years of relentless humanitarian services and initiatives including free vegetarian food, medical services, natural disaster relief, women empowerment initiatives, conflict resolutions, peace initiatives, sustainable Hindu practices through the various international agencies and the bodies. He has authored more than 300 books, 10,000 articles in 3 languages, English, Tamil, and Sanskrit, that has been translated into 50 languages with over 1,000 titles. Over 20 million copies of books and articles has been sold, read, and downloaded. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has established the largest Hindu library with over 1 million books, 1 million pound of scriptures, and over 20 million digital books. He is also revered as the most prolific, most viewed guru in the digital world, read and watched by 1 billion plus followers in Hinduism. Over 10,000 hours of discourses, over 1 billion views on the social media. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is respected as a commentator of all the sacred scriptures, such as Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Shiva Sutras, Yoga Sutras, Ashtavakra Gita, Jnana Sutras, etc. He is also honored as the leader of Hinduism, the most awarded, internationally recognized Hindu leader, acclaimed as one of the top 100 spiritually influential living personalities by the Watkins Mind, Body, Spirit magazine. The Sovereign Order of KAILASA, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, and the Nithyananda Order of monks, nuns, and Hindu diaspora are working for global peace and to give super conscious breakthrough to humanity. He is also the establisher of largest Hindu university in the world with the satellite campuses in 150 countries. He is establisher of 1,000 plus KAILASA Enlightenment ecosystem. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the founder and reviver of over 100 Sarvanya Peethams. So now let us look into one of the greatest contributions of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and that is the science of power manifestation, one of the very unique and powerful way to experience the Shivatva, the Paramashivatva within us, or the experiencing the Paramashivoham. So in the Vedagama, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Paramashiva reveals in elaborate detail that every human being is hardwired to manifest more than 463 plus powers through the third eye. Manifesting powers are described as the system, method, and the science for human beings to explore the various possibilities and powers and have access to the various states of consciousness. Paramashiva, who is the primordial divinity in Hinduism, the ultimate reality and cause, which is self-effulgent, Swayam Prakasa, all-pervading, unchanging, beyond time, space, form, and causality. As the fundamental base of Avyakta, the unmanifest and Vyakta, the manifest existence, he performs the Panchakritya, or the 5 cosmic acts. Of Srishti, which is creation, Sthiti, which is sovereign rulership and maintenance, Samhara, which is rejuvenation, Turobhava, which is pulling out of delusion, and Anugraha, liberating grace on all the living entities. So how do we manifest the Shaktis? So every ultimate truth, Jnana, when it is mapped into our consciousness, Prajnana, it manifests as the possibility and power of every being. let us look into the Shastra Pramana, the Apta Pramana, Atma Pramana, and the power of body scanning. So in this power of body scanning, one awakens to the ability to scan the illnesses, disease, medically diagnosed issues, and providing solutions through the awakened third eye. The Shastra Pramana is from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, where Bhagavan Paramashiva says, cognize deeply that from subtle to subtlest constitutive principles of your whole body or the whole universe simultaneously consist of essential reality. They are being absorbed in their source cause. By the experience of such restful awareness, one becomes complete from all the thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine power, Para Devi, Adi Shakti, is revealed, and the supreme power manifestation happens. So Teraya was a great Siddha and one of the prominent disciples of Agatya. One day a man suffering from the severe headache comes to Agatya for healing. Agatya uses the power of body scanning and identifies the root cause of the headache. He reveals that there is a small Teraya sitting in the person's brain. Agatya immediately instructed Teraya, his disciple, to perform an open head surgery and remove the flap. After the surgery is completed, successfully the person is healed and cured of the headache, thus again the name Teraya. Looking into the Atma Pramana, the experiences and the manifestation from the life of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shared this experience on 22nd December 2019, and in his, will be paraphrasing his own words. Says, only when I had the multiple compound hand fractures, I was forced to go for surgery and therefore for medical checkups related to that. At that time, they detected heavy metal quantity in my different organs. It was revealed that I had been poisoned without our knowledge. I immediately used a diagnostic method to, instead of medical facilities, to study the body conditions due to the poison. Through the body scanning, I found out what the problem imbalances had happened and where the balance has to be done. I used allopathy as the second opinion to verify my finding. At the living incarnation of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, embodied the most profound yogic states that surpass all the bounds of time, space, and matter. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is giving this pure great science of third eye awakening, along with the many other spiritual sciences, the initiation, that is Diksha, and millions of people have been initiated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and are experiencing the profound result as extraordinary powers in their everyday life. We all can receive these initiations by attending the Paramashivam program, the Paramashivam level 3, and the season 3 is going to be starting on the October 6th of this year. So by attending this program, we all will be initiated into the various powers of Paramashiva, which will awaken the various possibility powers, the various dimensions of us, and ultimately making us experience the state, space, powers, being and super consciousness of Paramashiva. So now we'll enter into the more introduction of this program after a short break. So request all of you to stay tuned.
Success is not just the zeros you see in your bank balance. It is your conscious sovereignty. It is you feeling so good about you. You celebrating your own existence. Success is not just the zeros you see in your bank balance. It is your conscious sovereignty. It is you feeling so good about you. You celebrating your own existence. Success is not just the zeros you see in your bank balance. It is your conscious sovereignty.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the program Introduction to Paramashivoham Level 3. So briefly, we'll also present about one of the ambitious project launched by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, that is KAILASA Ishanya, which aims to bring 1 crore people out of the poverty and raising the consciousness of 1 crore people. So let us look into more detail about this project and understand the vision and mission given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says that humanity as a modern society has already reached a state of technology and infrastructure to provide food, clothing, and medical care for all 8 billion people who call planet Earth as their home. But unfortunately, our decision makers have not reached the necessary conscious level to make the humanitarian decisions of providing basic needs for all the 8 billion people. The survival need for all the 8 billion people doesn't depend on the availability of housing and the food, but rather on the conscious level of the decision makers. So it is the consciousness that we all lack, not the infrastructure, neither the food, neither the medicines, neither the houses. So resources are not that we lack, and not because of the shortcomings of the resources, there is a poverty, but it's just the lack of the consciousness. So let us look into some of the facts and figures to understand the amount of scarcity the world is facing, or how the poor people are facing the scarcity. And one side, we have the abundance, but we are continuously throwing it into the landfills. So looking at the food wastages, so one side we dump tons of food of waste in the oceans and the landfills in order to maintain the steady prices. On other side, the millions of people die in the hunger. The clothing wastages, so one side we dump millions of tons of barely worn clothes into the ocean, and the other side we struggle for the basic clothing. One side we dump the functioning medical equipment for the new models, and other side the millions die without the access to very basic medical equipment. And same way for the home and shelter wastages, one side we are facing the home foreclosure and empty locked homes, and the other side we are facing the homelessness for the millions of people. So we'll give you more details about the food wastages. So around 1/3 of the food that is produced globally gets wasted, and where we have 35 million people, the people living in the poverty. So almost 1/3 of the food that is produced in the world for the human consumptions every year, approximately, which is 1.3 billion tons, that gets lost or wasted. So food losses and the amount waste to roughly $680 billion in the industrialized countries and US $300 billion in the developing countries. 155 million people in the 55 countries or the region faced a food crisis in 2021, adding the number that has now increased to 265 million due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So even if just 1/4 of the food scarcity that we have, the food that is lost or wasted globally could be saved, it would be enough to feed 870 million hungry people in the world, which is more than twice of the people who are facing the hunger. So 35 million people are dying from the hunger worldwide, and every child dies from the hunger every 10 seconds. Sorry, a child dies from the hunger every 10 seconds. Also, the report says the poor diets are linked to the 20% of all the deaths that happen worldwide. So looking into the medical wastages, the US medical waste will attain almost $5.25 billion by 2027. Among the regulated and unregulated clinical waste, which is around 80 to 85%, can be reused. So unused supplies of the medical facilities are often discarded unnecessarily rather than stored for later use, adding even more unnecessary garbage being carted away to landfills. So reprocessing industry saving 15 million pounds of the medical waste from the landfills and reducing cost to hospitals and surgical centers by over $544 million. The world's poorest countries are paying some of the highest drug prices, with everyday medicines costing up to 30 times more than in the rich nations. Half the world lacks access to the essential health services, and millions are still pushed into the extreme poverty because of the health expenses. Looking into the cloth wastages, so almost 100 billion garments are produced every year, with a 33% going to the landfill. Every year, 59,000 tons of used and unused clothing end up in Chile from all over the world. Every 10 minutes, an estimated 6,000 kilos of the clothing and textiles are dumped in the landfills. Also, 1 in the 8 children without the basic clothes, 1 billion children worldwide are multidimensionally poor without the access to the basic accessories. Almost 22,000 children die every day due to inhalation around the world. So similar way for the vacant home, the world has millions of vacant homes. Almost 42 million of its 426 million homes are vacant. Roughly 1 in the 10 homes in the advanced economies are empty. Japan itself has topped the list of nations with the highest percentage of the vacant homes, with 13.6% of its dwelling not lived into 1.3 millions and 1.3 millions in the Canada. So 27% of increase is expected in the homelessness, and that is due to the economic impact of the COVID-19. More than 1/3 of all people facing homelessness services are women and the children. So for the last 5 years, core homelessness has been rising year on year worldwide. Homeless people are over 9 times more likely to take their own life than the general population. 78% homeless people report having physical health conditions, 44% of them having mental health diagnosis, and 41% use drugs and alcohol to cope up with the mental health issues. So KAILASA aim to raise the consciousness level in the world and bring the fore the real issues facing the world, and through a specialized process of recycling, facilitating the movement of good quality unwanted items from haves to the have-nots. So this Chaturmasya, which is a 4 month from the July to October 22, alone 1 crore people should practice Samadhi to raise their consciousness, and 1 crore people should be pulled out of poverty. And this is the aim, this is the vision given by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. For the donor, it is a great boon as it provides to those who are in the need, and for the world, recycling removes a lot of hazardous material from the nature, adding it to the cleaner environment. And for those who are in the need, millions of people around the world will be alive, raised out of the poverty, hunger, and inadequate health practices due to the lack of medical facilities. So overall, it is a win-win situation for every single one who is going to be participating in this project KAILASA Ishanya. So how Sri KAILASA will be facilitating over the last 27 years. Sri KAILASA has built a network of legal entities in 140 countries around the world, holding charity status in the 118 of these countries. In many countries, Sri KAILASA entities are registered distributors as well, meaning we can manage the entire process end to end. We will make full use of this network to collect clothing, medical equipments, food materials from the developed nations, transport them, distribute it to the countries and regions in the need, with all the transportations and distribution expenses sponsored by the Sri KAILASA. So you can discover our processes, and you can also contact us to be part of this program, either as a volunteer, an individual, or as an organization. You can connect us on the kailasa.ishanya. You can go to kailasa.org/ishanya. There you can also make a request for the items like clothing, food, groceries, or of the medical equipments. If you are in the need of it, or if you are as an organization, you have the requirement, you have the facility to support a community or group of people, you can make a request. And also, if you are an organization who has the extra food or the lot of food that is being dumped, if you know, you can make a request, make a donation to us. So you can do these processes. You can directly contact us by signing up on kailasa.org/ishan. So with this, we'll move to the next segment of this program after a short break. We request all the viewers to stay tuned.
Success is not just the zeros you see in your bank balance. It is your conscious sovereignty. It is you feeling so good about you. You celebrating your own existence. Success is not just the zeros you see in your bank balance. It is your conscious sovereignty. It is you feeling so good about you. You celebrating your own existence. Success is not just the zeros you see in your bank balance. It is your conscious sovereignty. It is you feeling so good about you. You celebrating your own existence. Success is not just the zeros you see in your bank balance. It is your conscious sovereignty. It is you feeling so good about you. You celebrating your own existence. Success is not just the zeros you see in your bank balance. It is your conscious sovereignty. It is you feeling so good about you. You celebrating your own existence. Success is not just the zeros you see in your bank balance. It is your conscious sovereignty. It is you feeling so good about you. You celebrating your own existence.
Nithyananda everyone, welcome back to the segment. So now we'll look into one of the powerful solutions given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which has been very helpful for many people, devotees and disciples, to get out of their poverty consciousness. So here Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has presented a complete new powerful cognitions, the various understandings around the wealth, and a powerful technique to complete bring the transformation within to start manifesting wealth outside our life. So let us look into this solution, and we'll start with the various powerful cognitions and the truth shared by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says that life can be equated to two things. One, the ability to achieve what we want in the life. What we want in the life means what we want in the inner world and the outer world. Second, just getting stuck in both the world, and these are the only two equations. So every one of us want wealth in our life, but we do not increase the life in the level we want it. So wealth is equated to the life energy that we express. It's a straight equation because as of now, a normal man has the wealth as the first priority in the life. So if we do not have the wealth, we should not blame anyone. We are not expressing the life in us. Life energy is not happening in us. So creating wealth is the intrinsic part of the life, and this is what Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Gahano karmano gati. The universe, by its very nature, works, and works. So if we have at least the goal of creating wealth, we will be creative. Our energy will be channeled properly. So the first priority in the life should be for the moksha, the enlightenment. But till that happens, the second priority should be creating wealth in the life. Creating wealth makes us non-violent because our whole energy becomes creative. Creating wealth brings tremendous interest in the life and the non-violence. So wealth, it is not just an object or a thing to be achieved. Wealth is an extension of us. So anything that adds to us is the wealth. The quality of health that we enjoy, the state of our relationships, the fulfillment that we experience in our career, our mental state, our sense of inner fulfillment. All these are the measure of the success with which we have created wealth in our life. So now we can sum up what the wealth is as defined by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So he says, money is the one wealth, currency is one wealth. The assets that we have is one wealth, being alive, active is the one wealth. So all these four put together is the wealth. Means the money, currency, assets, and being active, alive. Also, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares that the wealth is neither good nor bad, it's just a utility wealth. So now, after building understanding on the wealth, now we'll look into the wealth consciousness. So wealth consciousness means making a clear decision to break out of the myths and the mental patterns that improvise us and draw us again and again into the poverty cycle. So this is the wealth consciousness. So we are going to be looking into our wealth consciousness, and we are going to be looking into how to build the wealth consciousness. So let us first dive into the another concept shared by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and he says that we do not manifest what we desire, but what we believe is what is manifested. So we do not manifest our desire, we manifest our cognitions, what we deeply cognize and what we perceive as the reality. Many of us say that I really desire wealth, but deep down we believe that wealthy people are arrogant people, bad people, they do a lot of wrong things. If we carry certain belief about the wealthy people, we won't be able to manifest wealth in our life. So let us look into some of the beliefs that we carry about the wealth, that wealthy people are arrogant and bad people. And this is one of the deeply rooted cognitions that we carry about the wealthy people. But the truth is that arrogance does not come with wealth. Arrogant people will be arrogant whether they have the wealth or not. Arrogance means, here Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism defines the arrogance, and it means behaving as if we are more important or know more than the other people. But we wrongly associate arrogance and create a pattern and start hating the people. So deep inside, we label poverty as a good quality. And this is another common belief that we carry, and we feel reverence and respect for the poverty. If that's there, we'll not be again able to generate the wealth. So let us look into again about our cognitions belief. So anything that we cognize, we create a certain magnetic field about that cognitions. We attract situations, people, everything around us to make that cognition into reality. All we need is the will persistence. Will persistence is our decision that we are not going to give up our intention, is the will persistence. So this concept gives us a powerful understanding on how to build the wealth consciousness. So we may think that is it possible for me? We all do desire to have the wealth, but understand we may not be believing it, perceiving it, or cognizing it as our possibility. So if we are desiring the wealth, but still if we have not manifested the wealth, that means deep inside we have some other cognitions, some other belief, our perception about our life is completely different. So what we need to do, the first and foremost important step that we need to do is creating an energy field of attracting wealth. Means breaking all the mental patterns and myths related with the wealth, and then manifesting a powerful cognition or making the powerful cognition as part of our life. So for that process, we are going to be introducing here a completion process. The first step is going to be cleaning up all the incompletions and the pattern that we carry about the wealth and creating a right, powerful magnetic energy center in us. So look into the various incompletions related with the wealth, and we'll do the complete cleaning up of all those mental patterns. Once we do so, after that, we'll again create a space within us. We'll go through the process of creating a space so that we can manifest, we can install the powerful cognition in us. So you're going to be digging out all the incompletions about money. And how do we do that? So what we are going to do is just sit with yourself and start thinking about the money. The moment you think about creating wealth or having money in your life, a lot of emotions or the thought will start coming out. You need to see what gets invoked, what kind of energy, what kind of emotions the remembrance of money invokes into you. The moment you think about the money, whatever you feel as your emotions, whatever you think in your thought, or whatever thought patterns that arises, you have to write down all of them. You will observe that so much goes inside you the moment you remember about the money, the moment you remember about the wealth. And understand, these are the mental patterns, the belief that we have about the wealth. So you are going to be writing down all into the way details, write down every single cognitions, every single emotions, the thought pattern that comes across when you remember about the money. And understand, once you're done, this is the first process which you need to do. As a second process, you are going to be writing the time when this inadequate cognitions started taking birth in you. Understand, each of the belief and cognitions started a particular incident, and we have to identify those incidents that when this wrong or incomplete belief about the wealth started forming in us. So these are the first preparatory steps that we need to do before we enter into the actual completion process, where we relive and relieve ourselves from those emotions and the thought patterns. So this is a very powerful technique given by Paramashiva in the Vigyan Bhairava Tantra, which is decoded and presented to all of us by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So this is the powerful way to getting out of all the mental patterns, belief that we have. So here, what we do, we complete with all these incompletions. You just sit with yourself in the very relaxed mood, and you go back to the, for each of the incidents that you have written, you go back to the same age. Means you have written the incident, then you have written the time when it started forming in your life. So you go back to the same age when that incident happened, and you relive the whole incident in the 5-dimensional as if it is happening now. So literally you move yourself to the same age, same understanding, same environment around you. Literally you are living that past incident. So you are not going to be just remembering, means being in the present and remembering your past, but rather you completely forget your present, who you are, what you are, where you are, and literally you move yourself to that past as who you were, what you were, and from the same understanding you start, you just relive yourself. When you start reliving with this intensity, you will be simply out of those powerless cognitions from your life. And this is one of the very powerful way to do completions with our various samskara, the root patterns, or the various mental patterns that we carry in our life. And this is the way you will be able to complete and be able to manifest wealth in your life. So this is the way how you do on your own with the initiation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Also, you can make Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the co-creator of your life. You can directly receive the initiations from him by attending the program Paramashivoham level 3, and let Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism do completion on your behalf, bring completion within you, or help you intensely to complete with all such mental patterns. You can do so by directly attending the program. So I request all of you to attend the program KAILASA, and you can register for the program on kailasa.org/Paramashivoham. And by registering, you will be guided to the further part of it. So now let us move to the next segment, and that is going to be, we are going to be watching one of the live satsang by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivoham Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva Shakti Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome you all with my love and blessings. I welcome all the living, practicing Hindus from all over the world, de facto Kailasians. I welcome all the Sarvanya Pita Kartas, Yajaman, ministers, ambassadors, diplomats, citizens, consulate generals, Mantreshwara, Vidyeshwara, Ganeshwara, Lokeshwara, Astreshwara. I welcome all of you with my love and blessings. Paramashiva's message directly from KAILASA. Listen. There is a space where time is not past, present, future. It is just is. The pure isness forms the basis of existence of time. In that time, which is only is, there is no past, present, future. Past, present, future, all is. In that space, Paramashiva manifested all his 64 forms for various leelas. For example, Lingodbhava manifested to establish the supremacy of Paramashiva. Paratva of Paramashiva, Shiva Paratva, is established by Lingodbhava by showing Brahma and Vishnu their space and their manifestations. Listen. But the Lingodbhava can never be called as was. At that time, Lingodbhava manifested. You can't say Lingodbhava is. Kalabhairava manifested to remove the ego of Brahma, to remove one head, the ego head of the Brahma. Actually, we can't use the word manifested. He is manifesting still now, will be manifesting forever. Because the space where Paramashiva manifested as Kalabhairava, as Lingodbhava, does not have past, present, future. Listen. The space from which Kalabhairava manifested the space from which Lingodbhava manifested. For example, one more example. Veerabhadra manifested. Paramashiva manifested as Veerabhadra to kill Daksha, destroy Dakshayanya. Actually, we can't say he manifested and disappeared. No, we can't use that word. He is manifesting. Paramashiva manifested as Kala, Mrityunjaya. He killed Kala, death, for Markandeya and stood as Kalagala. We can't say this in past tense because he is still there. He manifested in a space where there is no past, present, future. It is just simply present. You need to understand that space you need to understand. Only then you will understand the 64 different manifestations, superconscious mutation of Paramashiva. Understand? Even if you intellectually understand the superconscious mutations of Paramashiva, you will manifest him. You will celebrate him. You will enjoy him. You will be alive. And you yourself will experience the very manifestations of Paramashiva in your existence. See, Paramashiva manifested as Dakshinamurti to teach Veda and Agamas to Targavana rishis. It's not that it was a past. If you become silent to free yourself from the past, present, future through unclutching, you can see he is teaching even now in that huge cosmic sound. Om, even recorded by NASA. That soundless sound, Anahata Dhvani. Om. If you can hear it through the deep unclutching, you can see Dakshinamurti teaching you now. Dakshinamurti teaching you now. Paramashiva manifested as Ardhanarishwara to give darshan to Bringi Maharshi and to teach the whole universe. Devi is always one with him. She is in oneness. Shakti is not separate. So, each of the 64 manifestations of Paramashiva is one expression, one superconscious manifestation, one of the superconscious mutation of Paramashiva in his various manifestations. I should say superconscious mutation manifestation of Paramashiva is countless. All these manifestations are beyond time. I am talking about 64 because he revealed 64 to planet Earth for all of us to know. But surely there's a lot more. For all of us, what we need to know is revealed. Understand? First, meditate and try to understand there is a space without past, present, future, just is. Past, present, future is nothing but time cognized by the mind, which can cognize only small things, which cannot cognize the pure isness. When you are agitated and restless inside, you cognize only small things. Kanda, kanda, kanda. Small, small, small. When you are peaceful, unclutched, powerful inside, you see akanda, unbroken, which is no pieces, pure akanda. That is why in Hindu tradition, time is always shown as circular, not linear. It is circular. Soon the world will realize the linear idea of time may be useful for history documentation, But in reality, if you want to understand time, use the time as one of the strength for civilization. You need to understand the circular existence of time. Listen. For your day-to-day building a house or surveying the land, the idea earth is flat is useful. But to understand the whole universe, the idea earth is flat is insufficient. You need to come to the truth, earth is globe. Same way, to record history, understanding time as a linear movement may be useful. But to understand time in reality, realizing time is circular, and time there is no was, will, time is. Time is. If you cognize that, you will understand Dakshinamurti is manifesting now. Paramashiva is manifesting as Linga now. As a Linga Murti now. Paramashiva is manifesting as Lingodbhava Murti now. Understand? All you need to enjoy the powers and superconscious mutation of 64 manifestations of Paramashiva is to have the right knowledge about all that 64 manifestations. You need to understand Paramashiva as he introduces himself. Listen, if you want to understand me, you need to understand as I introduce me to you. You can't understand me with your own independent investigation. Neither your mind is capable nor your consciousness is powerful to grasp my existence as it is. You can only understand my existence as per my introduction. Same way, you can understand Paramashiva only based on his own introduction. Understanding him based on his own introduction awakens something called Shraddha in you, not faith. Faith is poor word. Shraddha. And Shraddha breeds bhakti. And all the Ananta Kalyana Gunas, auspicious qualities of Paramashiva starts manifesting in you. Powers of Paramashiva starts manifesting in you. Listen, you just need to know what is swimming and see somebody is swimming, then simply your muscle memory starts manifesting swimming. Same way, you just need to know about the superconscious mutations of Paramashiva and see someone manifesting it. Your muscle memory, bioenergy, all will just pick up. And simply you will enjoy superconscious mutation of Paramashiva. So today I am trying to introduce the principles of superconscious mutation of Paramashiva and the 64 manifestation which he himself introduces in Veda and Agamas. I'll introduce one by one. Listen intensely. Even if you missed, watch this satsang again, because this satsang is not was, it will be is forever. You can replay and watch. It is not was, is or will be. It is. What Paramashiva manifested as Dakshinamurti to Sanakadi Rishis, what he revealed as Uma Maheshwara to Uma Parvati, now I am revealing to all of you the same, from that same isness, tatata. So receive, replay, internalize, and start manifesting. Lingamurti, this whole universe, even NASA says now, they are very clear, the whole universe in the form of linga. Trillions and trillions and trillions of Brahmanda as manifested as linga. Next, Lingodbhava. Paramashiva manifests as Lingodbhava, Arunachala, to resolve the conflict between Brahma and Vishnu and establish the real truth about the supremacy. Next, he manifests as Mukhalinga, means linga with 5 faces of Sadashiva: creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion, and liberation. Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirobhava, Anugraha. These 5 faces of Paramashiva manifesting in linga, Mukhalinga. Next, Sadashivamurti. The same 5 action of Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirobhava, Anugraha. creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion, and liberation. In the form with 5 heads, 10 hands, and 15 eyes, he manifests as Sadashivamurti. Listen. Listen very sincerely, intensely. The introduction I am giving for each Murti is directly from Agama, as he introduced himself in Vedas and Agamas. I am just giving you English translation. All you need to do, sit with unclutched space and listen. You can see that very manifestation now in present. This whole Paramashivoham level 3, all I am trying to do is put this superconscious mutation in you. Full 21 days, what I am trying to do elaborately, I am trying to do in this 3 hours webinar. 3 hours, I can say 5 hours webinar. If you just listen intensely, as he revealed himself, you can experience now. Sadashivamurti. Next to Sadashivamurti is Mahasadashivamurti. Listen. Mahasadashivamurti is 25 dimensions together. Understand first this 5 dimension of Sadashivamurti. Creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion, liberation. Actually, you are doing these 5 actions every day. Every day you create some part of your body newly, some part of your muscle memory newly, some part of your biomemory newly, some part of your bioenergy newly. And every day you do sustenance of your body, mind, being. Every day you do rejuvenation. Millions of cells die and millions get newly generated, replenished, rejuvenated. If you just understand this, you will see all, including cancer in your body, will be healed. Just understand this one dimension of Paramashiva. Every cell dying in your body, every cell newly creating in your body, that samhara is not ordinary destruction, it is rejuvenation. Anyone who meditates on Rudra Lord of Samhara, will be free from all types of cancers. All types of cancers. Mukta, make sure your dad is sitting for the session. I'm not seeing him in the camera. Make sure he's on the camera. Listen. If you want Nitya Yavana, eternally to remain young, beautiful, handsome, meditate on Rudra. Rudra is Paramashiva's manifestation of rejuvenation. So understand, if you understand you are doing every day rejuvenation in your body, not only you will heal yourself from all disease, you will ever be young, energetic, beautiful, because you will not allow the tiredness, boredom to settle down in your body. If you want to be eternally young, beautiful, meditate on Rudra. Invoke Rudra in your inner space. That is why in Hindu tradition, the people who worship Rudra, connect with Rudra and become eternally young and beautiful are called Rudra Kanyas. You need only one understanding. You are the one who is rejuvenating. Same way, you should know you are the one who is deluding yourself. The agitation, any form of agitation, any form of perturbed restlessness, agitation is you putting yourself in delusion. Understand? Whenever you are agitated, deluded, restless, powerless, all you need is hold unclutching. Unclutching is the Trishula of Paramashiva. Just hold the unclutching. The greatest Shivastra, Pashupatastra, is unclutching. Hold, unclutching, and settle down from the delusion, agitation, powerlessness. You will simply enter into liberation, anugraha, moksha. Mukta, you can create a new window for him. You can give one more connection. He doesn't need to get up from the bed. He can, but I want to see him and I want him to see me. You can get one more connection. Listen. All of you listen. if you understand the 5 action, Panchakritya, Srishti, creation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Listen, if you understand all these 5, if you understand all these 5 is happening in your very body, mind, every day, connect with that source energy which is doing that every day in you. That is Rudra. And bow down to that Rudra every morning. Oh Mahadeva, Paramashiva, oh Rudra, you are here. Doing this great rejuvenation in me. I trust your decision. I trust you. Please be intensely alive in me. Keep me eternally young by rejuvenating me. I tell you, listen carefully. Listen intensely. Simple, ordinary connection with Rudra energy, with Rudra who is present. Understand? Rudra is not past. He is present. He is actually just now watching over me and making sure I utter the right word which creates right introduction about himself in all of you. He is sitting right now in my tongue and moving, making me utter right words. So you all understand Rudra properly in your inner space. Actually, if you are going through any disease or your family, especially your own DNA, like your own father, mother, grandmother, grandfather, or any of your own blood relation going through any serious illnesses, just sit next to them. See, if you are going through, sit with yourself and see how the Rudra is working. And because you never recognize the Rudra's work due to your delusion and agitation, you feel you are falling into destruction and death. If you just sit and watch yourself or them going through Rudra, actually you will also understand the power of Rudra. You will even heal them. Suhas, sit with your grandfather and you try this as a meditation. See how Rudra is rejuvenating in his body and how Rudra is doing his work in his body. One, you will understand the power of Rudra. Not only you will manifest the power of Rudra, you will even be able to help him and heal him and rejuvenate him. I tell you, usually, when you start all these meditation or connecting or these higher manifestations, when you yourself going through some physical disease, it will be a little difficult. That time you need my grace directly. Directly, I need to intervene and lift you. But if some of your relatives, blood relatives are going through, sit with them and see. That will actually awaken Rudra in you. It will help you and the other person, both. So it will be all a very powerful manifestation. Somebody is asking, Swamiji, what is the best Rudra mantra to invoke Rudra? See, in Samaya Diksha, the mantra you get, I'll give Samaya Diksha now itself to all of you. Om Ham Haum Shivaya Namaha. This is the best mantra to manifest all 64 manifestations of Paramashiva. Om Ham Haum Shivaya Namaha. 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 Now listen. The next form is Mahasadashivamurti. Paramashiva with his 25 dimensions. See, these 5 aspects like a creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, delusion, liberation. These 5 into 5. I'll explain, listen. Creation getting created. Creation getting sustained. Creation energy getting rejuvenated. Creation energy put into delusion and pulled out of delusion. Creation energy liberated. Liberation. Creation goes through, creation energy goes through these 5. Same way, sustenance energy goes through the 5. sustenance energy getting created, getting sustained, getting rejuvenated, getting deluded, getting liberated. Same way, rejuvenation energy getting created, getting sustained, getting rejuvenated, getting deluded, and getting liberated. This 5 going into this 5 forms 25 cosmic dimension. This 25 cosmic dimensions of Paramashiva is the 25 phase of Paramashiva. Listen. This 25 phase, even if you understand intellectually and start connecting, he will simply manifest in you because he is. Right now he is sitting with all the auspicious, joyful, blissful, kolagala, nityotsava, swarupa in Maha KAILASA and manifesting through me, through the right words and body language and the superconscious energy, and initiating all of you right now. Even if you just internalize and understand, you will connect with him right now and manifest his all superconscious mutations in you verily. Paramashiva, in his Maha Sadashiva Murti manifestation, who is the Lord of Maha KAILASA, with the 25 heads, 75 eyes, 50 hands, Sarva Mangala, Sarva Atsarya, Sarva Swatantra, Sarvanyatva, Ananta Kalyana Gunaswarupa, Tejomaya, Swayam Prakas, in his form is alive. Listen. You are introduced by him about him now. He is introducing himself about himself to you right now. So, just sit and receive. KAILASA Vision team has done a beautiful job of collecting all these 64 manifestations and naming it in English for you to connect. When I describe, you can easily connect. I know, surely within these 5 hours, all the 64 explaining all the 64 manifestations may not be possible, but at least I'll give a simple introduction and connect. So you can all start getting the glimpse. For now, The next form of Paramashiva Uma Maheshwara Murti. This is the manifestation, Paramashiva, teaching Vedas and Agamas, revealing Vedas and Agamas to himself, Paramashiva Shakti. This is the form we worship in Adi Kailasa in Bangalore and Paschima Kailasa in Los Angeles. In both Adi Kailasa in Bangalore and Paschima Kailasa in Los Angeles, both places, this form is only worshipped of Paramashiva. He, having Devi in his lap, revealing Vedas and Agamas to Devi with a tremendous love, care and blessings. The next form is Sukhasanamurti. Again, he is also manifested mainly for teaching Vedas and Agamas and giving the grace not only to Devi, along with Devi to everyone. That is why in this form, the Devi and he both will be sitting in Samasana on the Sarvanya Pita of Kailasa. He and Devi both will be sitting on Samasana. In Uma Maheshwara Murti, Devi will be sitting on his lap. Now, Devi will be sitting in Samasana with him because along with Devi, he graces the whole universe. That is Sukhasana Murti. Next form, manifestation, is Umesha Murti. In this Murti also, he graces to the whole universe along with Uma. So, he is called Umesha Murti. Next form is Somaskanda Murti. This manifestation is with Uma and Skanda. Somaskanda Murti means Soma, Asi, Skanda. Soma means Paramashiva himself. Asi means his own Devi, his own manifestation in the female form. Paramashiva Shakti, Devi, Asi. Skanda, his own manifestation, Subramanya. So all the three together is Somaskanda Murti. This form is the largest worshipped form of Paramashiva almost in all temples. See, the first will be Linga form. Next will be the Somaskanda Murti form. He receives all the Utsavas, Brahmotsavas, almost in all temples. So he is the most popular form of Paramashiva, most worshipped superconscious mutation of Paramashiva, Somaskanda Murti. The next, Chandrasekhara Murti. The Paramashiva manifested to save moon, Chandra. And this is the Chandrasekhara Murti. Next, Vrishabharuda Murti. Paramashiva sitting on Rishabha. is Vahana with Devi. He is the Rishabharuda manifestation of Paramashiva. Next is Vrishabhantika Murti. He leaning, standing next to Rishabha, leaning on Rishabha in a very unique way. It's a very beautiful form. If you go to Los Angeles temple, in the entrance, you will see this form, because this is exactly the form he gave me a darshan in my old quarters in Biddi. So I made this form, Rishabhandagar, and wanted to install there, but I sent it to Los Angeles, thinking that I will make another one for Los Angeles. In the reception, if you see, he will be standing tall. That deity is Rishabhantaka Murti. Still, Rishabha has not reached Adi Kailasa. Sorry, Paschima Kailasa. Rishabha is also made. It is there in Adi Kailasa. That has to be brought and assembled. But that Rishabhantaka Murti is there in Paschim Kailas. I think still Rishabha has not yet got the visa. He has to get the visa and come. Next form. Bhujanga Lalita Murti. Listen. This whole universe rests in Paramashiva, on him. Paramashiva reveals this truth to the all the living beings. In him, everything resides. That manifestation of that superconscious truth is Bhujanga Lalita Murti. Next. Bhujanga Trashamurti. It is like he stands tall. Listen to this truth. He stands tall even during the Mahapralaya, when everything is destroyed, everything actually merges inside him, rests in him. See, even when the universe is manifested, that stays on him. That is described by Bhujanga Lalita Murti. Even during the Pralaya, everything goes in him, is demonstrated by Bhujanga Trashamurti. Next. Sandhya Nrittamurti. See, Sandhya means the day and night meeting, and destruction, pralaya, and creation meeting. For you to understand roughly, you can roughly understand as Ice Age. During every Ice Age, he dances the cosmic dance. That is called Sandhya Tandava. Listen. Whenever you feel everything in your life is falling apart, suddenly business is collapsing, wife is leaving, and kids are not listening to you. It's almost like your whole life is going. What do you think as your life is going? Health is failing. Whenever you feel that pralaya is happening in you, meditate on this Sandhya Nrittamurti. Invoke him. Mahadeva, you are doing your Sandhya Nritya in my life. Just show me you are doing the Sandhya Nritya. That's enough. He will simply manifest auspiciousness in you. Listen. He just wants you to know he is doing Sandhya Tandava in your life. If you recognize it, you will say, all right, come on. Now it is time. Let's start the creation. Let the new yuga start. Let the new universe manifest. Let the new life manifest. If you want new life to manifest in you, connect with Sandhya Tandava Murti. Nritta means Tandava. Sandhya Nritta Murti. Tandava goes through certain discipline. Nritta is beyond all discipline. So, if you feel things are falling apart in your life, connect with Sandhya Nritta Murti. Mahadeva, Paramashiva, I know you are doing Sandhya Nritta in me. Just reveal that you are doing Sandhya Nritta, so I'll be in peace. That's all. He will feel very shy. Hey, this fellow caught me. Now he knows my Leela. Okay, come on. All right. I'll create the new life for you. I'll manifest new life for you. Delusion will delude you as long as you have not recognized the delusion is deluding you. The moment you recognize delusion is deluding you, it can no more delude you. Delusion cannot delude you. The moment you recognize delusion is deluding you. Actually, even this Sandhya Nritta Murti we have in Seattle Temple. Seattle Temple, we have not only the huge Nataraja, Ananda Nataraja, we have some more dancing forms of Shiva. I think we have done some, that 108 dancing forms of Shiva and sent to different temples few deities, few forms. So Seattle has Ananda Tandava, as in Chidambaram, and Sandhya Nritta Murti, and even Los Angeles has few more Tandavas of Paramashiva's forms. So connect with this superconscious mutation, Sandhya Nritta Murti. You will realize nothing is falling apart, everything is falling in place. If you know Paramashiva, you will know everything falls in place. If you don't know Paramashiva, you may be deluded thinking everything is falling apart. The next Murti of Paramashiva, Sada Nritta Murti. He dances during creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, delusion, liberation. In all the Panchakrityas, he does Sada Tandava. He is called Sada Nritta Murti. This Swami is also called Ananda Tandava. If the Devi form is not attached, is called Ananda Tandava. If the Devi form is also attached, is called Sadanritta Tandava. Sadanritta Murti. In Seattle earlier we had only Ananda Tandava, means only Paramashiva dancing. Then we added the Devi Murti. Now is Sadanritta Murti. Connect with Sadanritta Murti to have everything. He will give you creation related powers, sustenance related powers, rejuvenation related powers, delusion related powers like pulling out of delusion, everything, and liberation related powers. Sadadandavamurti, Sadanrittamurti. Sadanrittamurti. Actually, I wanted to build a temple for all the 64 manifestations in US. That is why that time itself, in 2001, I started carving all these deities. The Uma Maheshwara Murti I carved is sitting in Ohio. See, if you see Paramashiva in San Jose, he will be having fire and Damaru. But if you see Ohio Paramashiva, he will be having Man and Maru, deer and the Maru. These two in his hand. Because he is carved as per the Agama of Uma Maheshwara Murti. The sixth form I explained to you, that is the form we worship in Ohio. And Sadanritta Murti is in Seattle. Maybe all the present temples can take the responsibility and make the 64 temples in US to bless the whole US. All the 64 manifestations of Paramashiva should have a temple in US. The Houston Linga is called Mukha Linga. The Kalahasti Linga, you will see the top of the Linga will have all the faces of Paramashiva, Muha. So each of the deity, if you see in the temples, Paramashiva temples we built in US, will have one manifestations of these 64 forms of Paramashiva. The next, Chandatandava Murti. This is one of the powerful dance where Mahadeva and Devi both dancing. Seeing this only, the Arunagiri, the great sage from Tiruvannamalai, Arunagiri Nadar, not Arunagiri Yogeshwarar. Arunagiri Yogeshwarar is Paramashiva himself. Arunagiri Nadar sings, Adala Seta Narada, Agilamer Meedada, Abinakali Tanada, Avalodan, Adiravisi Vadadum, Vidagileru Varada, Arugubuda Vedalam Avayada, Adala Seta Narada. It's a very beautiful description of dance happening in KAILASA. How Paramashiva is dancing and Mahakali is dancing. Arigubuda Vedalam Avayada, all the Bhutas, Vedalas, Pretas of Paramashiva dancing, all of them jumping. It's a very beautiful Tiruppugal where Arunagirinathar had the darshan of Kailasa, Maha Kailasa, and describes it. Atala Sedan Arada, Agila Meru Midada. Such beautiful description. This Chanda Dandavamurti, if you connect with him, you will experience raw bliss. Raw bliss in all the aspects of Paramashiva. A real raw bliss, wild bliss will manifest in you if you connect with Chanda Tandava Murti. Next, Gangadhara Murti. This is the manifestation where Paramashiva receives Ganga from Satyaloka in his jata and releases to Bhuloka in a very protected way. If the Ganga comes with all her power, the planet Earth will not be able to sustain it. Same way, if the Ganga is not there in the planet Earth, it will dry up, it will go without water. So Paramashiva does the job of transformer. He receives it and gives to the level which is needed. A real conscious water management system for the universe is Paramashiva himself. His jata is the real water management system, conscious, super conscious water management system. Next, Ganga Visarjana Murti. This is the form through which he releases Ganga. The earlier form, Gangadhara Murti, is receiving Ganga from Satyaloka, Brahmaloka. Ganga Visarjana is releasing Ganga to the Bhuloka. Next, Tripurantaka. This is the form in which he opened his three eyes. The manifestation as Tripurantaka, he opened three eyes and burnt Tripurasuras. The three demons who had three worlds for themselves. He burnt all of them just through opening the third eye. So, this manifestation is Tripurantaka Murti. If you want to destroy negativity, invoke him. Invoke Tripurantaka Murti, he will destroy it. Next, Kalyana Sundara Murti. This is the form with which he married Parvati And Meenakshi, whenever he marries the incarnations of Parvati, he assumes Kalyana Sundara Murti form, comes and marries. This is a powerful manifestation. If you invoke him, all the relationship related issues will be cleared. He will bring completion all the relationship related issues. He is the manifestation of the most powerful superconscious relationship. Maybe I'll give you a small break. Then I'll reveal the truths about the Navakanda Yoga and how that helps to understand all the 64 manifestations of Paramashiva. I don't think just in one webinar we can receive all the 64 manifestations, because even to give a simple introduction to 64 will take at least 10 hours. So today I introduce the principles of this 64 manifestation. And I will reveal the core principle of Navakanda Yoga. I will reveal the Navakanda Yoga, which is the foundation principle of all the 64 manifestations of Paramashiva. So you can understand all the 64. So let's gather for next session. Be blissful. Blessings. Blessings. Be blissful.